Hey everybody, Travis here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the GTS for the Pokemon Sun and Moon. I got Pokemon Moon right now on my black 3DS. Just to show you like how to access it. Like if you're not familiar with how these work, you have to turn on your wireless and you just click it up like this until you see like a yellow light, and then it like you see it come on like this. And then you have to go to your menu and it's go to the festival plaza, and then the game will take you to this where you can trade, and it'll say if you're connected to your Wi-Fi. Well, you have to set it up, and you have to make sure, like from what I understand, like the game will tell you if like there's a software update you have to do to really access it, because for some reason, like online games nowadays usually require like the latest patch or something like that, which kind of makes sense, but at the same time though, the game will let you know. So like here we have like link trade, which means to trade with one person. Like, like when it used to be, like a long time ago, the first kind. GTS stands for Global Trading Station. They've established this ever since, like, Generation 4, for example. And, so like the Sinnoh region, and then the Nova region, and then I forget the region, Gen 6 region. I think it was the Kalos or something like that region. And Wonder Trade's just, you trade with somebody randomly, one by one. Most of the time you'll get junk, but it's possible that you could very well get something very useful. Personally, I would recommend using Wonder Trade if like you're like sitting down, like watching TV, and you're just like kind of doing something else, waiting, and all of a sudden like you can do these at the same time, because Wonder Trading pretty much just happens all by itself. But like once you set up the Pokemon to do that, then it goes through with somebody. GTS, we're gonna go to the GTS. So would you like to connect to the internet? Now this kind of takes a little bit of time. Can take like almost a minute, but I'm gonna explain some things with the GTS. I've already deposited a Pokemon on here, and GTS, like, because Pokemon's huge. A lot of people play these games. A lot of people trade online. These games have actually significantly gotten a lot easier with acquiring certain Pokemon because, thanks to the internet and thanks to the fact that there's even more fans of the series. So the game will let us know that it's connecting, but essentially what happens next is, when you own the GTS, there's two things you can do. You can deposit a Pokemon, or you can search for a Pokemon. And essentially the way to make the GTS a lot easier and how to use it is that you want to, there's an error code, hold on a second. But apparently, that's like the first time that's ever happened. Well, anyways, like I was saying though, the thing that's really interesting about the GTS is that you can essentially get any Pokemon you want, but the idea is that people are usually asking for something else in return. So, and seeing how it could make or break you. For example, you can only upload one Pokemon at a time, but the idea is that, if you deposit a Pokemon rather, and to get any Pokemon you essentially want, you essentially got to figure out like which Pokemon is the most accepted Pokemon that there is. So like for example, legendaries, Pokemon Sun and Moon only exclusive. So like for example, I have Pokemon Moon, but thanks to the GTS I was able to get all the Pokemon in Sun, for example. Yeah, you could get them through Wonder Trades too, but good luck with that. I'm serious. I think I got I'm trying to think of it. Is it Sol Galileo or something like that? The Pokemon Sun main legendary, and I got him like on the first try. Like honestly, or not the first try, like it was like the first night I was doing Wonder Trades. I think it was like 40-something Wonder Trades I did, and I somehow got a legendary off that, and I was gonna go on the GTS later the same night, which was today, and long and behold, I finally got one. But it's random. You really never know what you're gonna get. You can get some good Pokemon. Mostly you'll get you get breed rejects is what people refer to them as. It's crazy is what it is. You'll get good Pokemon, but it's patience is what it is, and it's timing, but it's random. You never know what you're gonna get, and Oh, by the way, also never disconnect from these games. When you're in trading for something, because it'll disconnect you and they will permanently ban you, or not permanently ban you, but they'll kind of disconnect you from the servers for a little bit, which kind of sucks, but it's strange, but it happens nonetheless. And I wonder if there's just a lot of people online, because the servers they can handle it, but there's so many people on these games, it's crazy. And we're still waiting. This is before Nintendo or Game Freak patches the game, so that way we can get on to getting on there, so that way we can trade with all the other Pokemon games that we haven't gained access to yet. Like, for example, Reshiram, Zekrom, Kurium, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mewtwo, Mew. Then you'd have like Raikou, Entei, Suicune, like all these other Pokemon that, like, Ho-Ho, Lugia. Okay, so now it says now it's connected. Okay, so now what's going to happen is it's going to check the data to see if so it's talking about there's a global mission. I still have yet to figure like what that's all about, but this is just to kind of tell you what the GTS does. So like right now I already have a deposited Pokemon. It's going to tell me if it takes this long. Oh, there goes my Pokemon. Now it says attention. It says the communication. At this time, this is when the game would detect to save you. Essentially, why they also did this is to prevent people from cloning their games. So I traded a Machamp, and I got an Eevee instead. The reason I got an Eevee was because, well, Eevee, this is another really good tip for trading with Pokemon on here, is that you should only trade Pokemon that are very rare as well. So, like, for example, we'll take a look at some of the Pokemon I have. I have a bunch of Pokemon. I got a Lunala. There's that, this is the, just for the laughs, this is the Soul Galileo I got. So whoever Aslan is. Aslan. There's a Cyndaquil. I didn't even know we could even get these starters until recently. I always loved Cyndaquil. He's so cute. And Eevee is also another really good one. Couldn't find Eevee. Then I found out it only had a 5% encounter rate. So that's kind of crazy, but it happens though. So yeah, the GTS can be used to get rare Pokemon. Oh yeah, here's another one. Dratini, level 1. Not sure if, again, like, I'm not sure what their IVs are at the moment. I'll have to look into that. But usually when you hatch Pokemon from eggs, essentially what happens is they have this tendency to have, like, really good IVs and all that. And if you breed them with a Ditto, you can get perfect IVs. I mean, you have to know how it works, but it's a little bit of time. But there's people that could probably explain it better than I could, at least at the moment anyways. Okay, so here we have an Eevee. I'm gonna evolve that into so like we'll put another Pokemon up for a deposit, like just to kind of show you. So like you would go right there, you would select the Pokemon you want. So like this is just for the lulz, or rather for a demonstration. So here we have Abra. It's a Japanese Abra. So here's another thing that's really interesting. Wonder trades you can get, well, from Pokemon Moon and Sun. From what I understand so far, you can tell like what region it's from, because it's got the Japanese. Now, what's really interesting about these games, from what I've seen, is that as far as the GTS goes, or even just this game, this was technically the first game where you could actually pick the language that you wanted to play the game in, based on every. So the language pack was already installed into the game. All the other previous games, if you wanted to play the game in Japanese, you'd have to import it from Japan, obviously, instead of it being in English. So that's kind of interesting. But anyways, just to kind of give you an example of like how this works, we'll take, let's see, that's a Tauros. Sure, do I want to trade Tauros? Lacane Rock, or how do we do this? So we'll put a Lacane Rock up on the GTS. We're going to deposit it. It's going to ask me, do I want to do anything with this? And then essentially what it does is it just asks you, okay, what Pokemon do you want? Mostly what I would recommend doing is like, well, this is usually the hardest part, is figuring out like what you want specifically. The way the game registers it is it will only ask you, like, you only have like shortcut options to like A through Z, like what Pokemon you've already seen. But then you go down to here where it says what Pokemon, and this is where you have to spell the Pokemon out, like the name of it. And some of these Pokemon I don't know the names like off the top of my head. And I think the game automatically translates them regardless, so like if you're trying to look for like a Japanese Abra, you don't need to know its Japanese name. But we'll just, I'll just go on here and ask for something I've already gotten, because I'm still trying to get all the Eevee evolutions. So we'll go and deposit an Eevee. So it'll say checking the GTS. Again, every time you see the GTS, it stands for Global Trading Station. Checking the global trading status. So we'll put a Lunar Rock on here. Now, essentially, the way this works is that, you know, you're going to go on here, and the way this game works is it's going to tell me, again, it's just going to warn me ahead of time that if it catches me doing this, it's going to give me $1,000. It says if a communication error occurs, your system, you will be banned. Yeah, essentially Nintendo's just trying to tell people that they don't want people, they just want people to play fair. But at the same time, though, you know, people will always find a way around it. So yeah, you know, essentially how this works is like now you have a summary of your Pokemon. You can always take it back, or you gotta quit. I don't know, like, if this is always the best way to do this. To see, because some of these Pokemon, the second you put them up, they'll immediately be traded. Super fast. And it'll tell you, if it comes up like that fast, like you just saw there, that means it's still there. Like right here, still available. If you just hit take back, it just takes it back immediately. And so we'll just kind of disconnect again really quick. Quit the... Because the thing is, you know, you want to ask for a Pokemon you want, but at the same time, though, you've got to try and figure out... See, like right there, the Pokemon you deposited was already traded. See, there's people that are trying to find some of these Pokemon. It's so fast. Like, there's people that are literally, they probably plug in their 3DS, and they just literally sit on the line all day and try to trade Pokemon that they can get. So Eevee, obviously, this is probably going to be another Eevee that was breaded. Because, let's be honest, a lot of people, like, again, the hardest thing to really figure out here, and I can't stress this enough, is to try and figure out what trades fast and what you can get for it in return. It's always the hard part, is trying to figure it out. You know, so that should just be an example. And if you want another example of this, we could take like this this Rowlet. Rowlet. Anyways, so not Rowlet, but so we have, I don't know how to pronounce that, Tornator or something like that. You know, we can put this up for trade. And essentially I could ask for, I'll ask for like another Eevee, because it's pretty, Eevee's a really good Pokemon, it really is. I mean, it's always a good idea, because I mean, I want all the Eevee evolutions. I at least want one of each, because, I mean, you could even trade them on here too, so it's not like, you know, like you can get a Vaporeon, and the way Pokemon Sun and Moon works, you can actually buy like stones in this game. So you can buy like you could buy a leaf stone. You can buy ice stones too. However that works. You can buy all sorts of things. Anyways, so after we do this, I'll show you what a Wonder Trade is, just like, you know, kind of what to expect and the whatnot, but it's probably not going to be really good. It's just going to be a Wonder Trade. We'll do a few of them. But this is just to kind of give you an idea how this works, though. But I have to show you how to seek Pokemon, too. So, alright, so how do you seek a Pokemon? Well, essentially how this works is you take the Pokemon you're looking for, and essentially look for the results. Now, you're going to do it like from their site. So, before you can get a Pokemon that you can trade, you first have to look it up, make sure. So if you're wondering, like take for example the Pokemon I just deposited, you know, hopefully it's a Pokemon that somebody's already looking for. Otherwise, it's going to sit on here for a while, or join the ones that are already on here. So here we'll look at Eevees, because maybe I can get an Eevee or an Espeon. So we'll go down here. You can either select the gender, male or female. Now, mind you, Eevee has, I think it's 88.5, meaning it's only got a 12.5 chance of becoming a female. And then obviously you have like the Pokemon down here where it says, you know, the levels, any. It always goes by default. So anyways, search for an Eevee. And the way this works is the search results that you have from left to right essentially states that, so there's an English Eevee. Try to get another Japanese Eevee. And so like right here, for example, if you take a look at the Pokeball sign, that tells you that you've already caught. That's a Pokemon you've already seen. So some of these Pokemon, see, like right here, for example, this is a no, wait. That right there, that's a shiny Eevee because it's a different color. So if you're really good at this, you can essentially find some of these Pokemon. And again, the farther right you go, the better chance it's been sitting on here, and it might actually play in your favor. Here's another way of thinking about it. All the Pokemon that are to the left have recently just been put up. They're the newest search results. So, for example, these are the people that are still waiting for someone who would trade with them. And essentially the way this works is, okay, so like for example, this woman, I don't know what her name is, but, you know, her Pokemon is, you know, the newest one. So not only until, you know, someone trades with her, but this Pokemon is all the way to the left. Let's see if we got this. So the way this works, and just to prove it to you, you know, you'll go on the GTS, and if it's the Pokemon you have, it